What's up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, today's video, I'll be breaking down Wolverine number 26 and 27 by Benjamin Percy and Juan Jose Rip. I'll be explaining why Beast killed Wolverine in Wolverine number 26, as well as how in Wolverine number 27, X-Force is going to be stepping out of the shadows and turning into Minority Report.
You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
So over the course of these past two issues of Wolverine, Logan has found himself in a very weird spot. For a long time, Logan has been questioning Krakoa and everything that he has been doing. He has felt for a long time like Krakoa has kind of dulled his edge, that it's not just even his edge, that it's dulled the edge of lots of other people. And we even see throughout the course of this comic some other themes that Benjamin Percy has been trying to push more to the forefront, like Sage's becoming an alcoholic, how she's drinking to the point that she's drinking herself stupid, which should be virtually impossible for someone whose mutant power is having the mind of a supercomputer. And while that is a huge and major deal, it's a huge portion of Sage's story going forward at this point, it's not really what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is what's going on with Logan. We saw in issue number 26 that while Logan and Jeff Bannister have discovered the merchant is back up and operating his auction houses, he's moved on from superhero memorabilia and moved on to superhero and supervillain experiences. And what I mean by that is, rather than selling the Green Goblin's glider or Peter Parker's tombstone from Kraven's Last Hunt or any of the other various and sundry pieces of memorabilia that the auction house used to have before it was all destroyed by Wolverine and Maverick, now what he's offering is opportunities for people of means to have their way with people in the Marvel Comics universe. In Wolverine number 26, we saw characters like Chameleon, Mr. Negative, Black Ant, and Taskmaster, as well as Madame Mask, all of these various and sundry characters who have come to have a unique experience. And because the merchant was able to trick Jeff Bannister and Wolverine into seeking them out, the merchant is using this opportunity to set up his clients with an opportunity to kill Wolverine, or just to simply torture him, because technically Wolverine can't really be fully killed without a lot of effort, but just the same, he's offering people that opportunity. But Beast is the one who steps in the way and says, no, I want to purchase Wolverine, and he wants to be the one to kill him. Now, this was a huge deal because it makes you wonder, why is Beast wanting to kill Wolverine? Well, you kind of have to go back a little bit. Wolverine has been the one person on the island, other than Sage, who is the most consistent in calling Beast out on his bullshit. As a matter of fact, Wolverine is the one who has called out Beast the most. He has questioned Beast at multiple turns since the creation of this newly formed X-Force after House of X. Wolverine has been calling Beast out, and not only has he been calling him out, he's been calling him out in front of the other members of X-Force, especially Deadpool and Omega Red. And the reason why Wolverine is doing this is because Beast is trying to turn X-Force into Minority Report, going after threats before they've actually had an opportunity to become a threat. In Wolverine number 26, he brings up an Iraqi pirate ship and that he wants the X-Force crew to go in and kill as many Iraqi pirates as humanly possible. These Iraqi pirates technically haven't done anything exactly wrong. I mean, yeah, they set up shop in Madripoor. Yeah, sure, they're causing trouble, but that's what happens in Madripoor. It's just kind of a place where bad things happen. It's not necessarily X-Force's place to police it, even though technically Krakoa does have interest there. But that's not exactly why Beast is wanting to do this. He's just wanting to flex his muscles and just show how much power he truly has. He's become drunk on power since House of X, and especially now that he's technically one of the most powerful people on the island, with the ability he has to just call shots as he sees fit in the name of X-Force. Wolverine doesn't like it because he feels like, why are we attacking these people? They haven't done anything yet. But Beast wants to weed the garden before the weeds have even begun to show up. And when Beast bid on Wolverine in that auction, the reason why he did it was because he wanted to take advantage of a situation. Yeah, of course, he wants to, get his rocks off by torturing and killing Wolverine. That wasn't his only purpose. He actually wanted to kill him so that when he was brought back and resurrected, he could place a Krakoan control collar around his neck that would allow him to take over Wolverine and make him do whatever he wants. He's been sending Wolverine out on hits left and right. Anyone who has anything negative to say about Krakoa, anyone who's even attempting to do anything negative about Krakoa, he is sending Wolverine there, not just to shut them up, but to actually kill them. Now, I will be the first one to admit, taking out problems before they become a problem is not that big of a deal to me as a person, even from an ethics standpoint, if that person is actually going to do the thing that they are fated to do. It's one of those situations, kind of takes you back to, once again, not just Minority Report, but even as recent as Marvel's Civil War II. There were instances where when Captain Marvel wanted to use Ulysses Kane as a means of basically creating a similar program, being able to see the future, stop threats before they happen, it was revealed that later on, Ulysses has a margin for error. He saw potential futures, but not exactly anything that was truly going to happen. The futures that Ulysses saw were potential futures. They weren't necessarily the one that was going to happen. And while yes, he increased his power to where he could see multiple possible futures, it still means these are just possible futures. Now, Beast doesn't necessarily have precognitive abilities or even access to such a thing, at least not as far as we know, but he does also have his Krakoan listening devices all over the place, so he's getting intel from all these different places, and based on that intel, he's just operating on things. He's just having X-Force act on threats regardless of how much of a threat they could potentially be. Going back to Civil War II, there was the famous suitcase incident where there was supposed to be a woman who had a suitcase that had a powerful, deadly weapon in it, and when Captain Marvel and the rest of the Ultimates swooped in and apprehended that woman, turns out that suitcase was empty. There was nothing in it because it was just a possible future. It wasn't actually the real future. At first I thought, well, maybe he'll just use Wolverine to go after Xeno, or maybe Orcus, or any of the other various and sundry people who want to go after the X-Men and Krakoa. You know, maybe go after the U-Men who are actively working in the Marvel Comics universe right now and experimenting and creating mass graves of mutants on hidden islands that we have seen in Sabretooth and the Exiles just very recently. No, that's not what he's doing. He's going after what I feel like are small-time criminals. He's going after, of course, bad people who are taking Krakoan medicines and turning them into very powerful narcotics like pollen, which is something that came up first in Wolverine #1 under Benjamin Percy. And he's also going after military groups who are threatening airstrikes against Krakoa, but he's also going against regular, normal people who aren't doing anything. One of them is a guy who works in Parliament who hates mutants and is probably going to try and come up with some kind of anti-mutant legislation. But the thing is, Parliament already doesn't like mutants. They've already pretty much distanced themselves. The UK as a whole has distanced themselves from Krakoa and has pretty much rescinded any amnesty that they would give to any mutants on the United Kingdom soil. So that's not really that big of a deal, but he's even going after a journalist who writes problematic articles about mutants. And once again, while I do think that yes, these things are bad, he is sending Wolverine to commit brutal acts of murder and directly breaking one of the primary laws of Krakoa, and that's kill no man. Meanwhile, Wolverine is out here killing people indiscriminately. And not because he wants to, but because Beast has turned Wolverine back into the very thing he's been trying to get away from for decades, and he's basically returned him to his default Weapon X format. Beast is out there sending Wolverine to kill indiscriminately against anyone who could potentially be a problem for mutants in any way, shape, form, or fashion, no matter how big or small. And not only that, he's also taking X-Force and not just shaping it into a pseudo Minority Report function, but he's also making sure that X-Force is no longer hiding in the shadows, having Black Tom Cassidy raise what looks like Castle Grayskull out of the soil of Krakoa, creating a headquarters that the entire island can see and that even Krakoa's enemies would be able to see, something that lets people know they're always being watched and that X-Force is out there. Beast has been acting a whole monkey for quite some time, and it's only getting worse. And right now, the people who could keep him in check aren't able to because they don't really know what he's doing. Even Sage, who has been probably the one person who really knows what Beast is up to, she has constantly been seen just getting plastered to the point that she doesn't know which way is up. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe Beast is something to do with that. Maybe Beast has somehow been the reasoning behind why Sage has become such an alcoholic. Yeah, sure, she gave us reasons recently as to why she's been drinking a lot, the reasons why she's been pursuing such destructive behaviors, but I can't help but wonder if Beast is somehow a part of that he has been acting in ways to make sure that the checks and balances that could potentially be in place to keep him from doing the things that he is currently doing. Can't help but wonder, Beast is the reason why these things are happening, so they can't impede his work. And while we don't really know what Beast is going to do with Jeff Bannister, who is Wolverine's best friend now, someone who he hangs out with regularly, a guy who is probably the only human in the universe who can say they have a Krakoan gate in their backyard that they're able to use. What is he gonna do with Jeff Bannister? We don't really know. I mean, we see Beast at a later point in the issue that when it flashes back to Wolverine being killed by Beast, with Beast actually beheading him, we see Beast grab Jeff Bannister and ask what is he going to do about him, and we never really see what happens after that, but we do get a quote from Jeff Bannister afterward that, I don't know, maybe it might give us some indication. Maybe he was able to escape from Beast, maybe, somehow, some way, and maybe get himself and his daughter to safety, but I don't know. I don't really know how that's gonna play out for him there, and we know that whatever's going on, Beast is keeping Wolverine on a short leash. He is only allowing Wolverine to go out when he needs to kill. When people see him on the island, it is usually Wolverine just being incredibly angry and incredibly standoffish, almost in the way that he used to be when he first came to the X-Men, if not worse. The only times we see Wolverine that's not in a flashback, when he's not killing someone under orders of Beast, it's when Beast is feeding him. We even see at one point that Beast might even just be keeping Wolverine on an even shorter leash than that, where he's keeping him in some kind of a safe and pulling out his skull when he needs it and just allowing him to regenerate. At least that's the impression that I was given with what he's doing. We see him talking to what is very clearly Wolverine's skull, with him creating this Minority Report style organization out of X-Force. It's only gonna get worse. I feel like at some point, Jean Grey, who has technically left X-Force, she's gonna have to come back and take a look at this and try and get Beast out of there. Domino at some point is gonna have to try and help Sage with some kind of an intervention so that she can get back in the game, stop Beast from what he's doing. And I'm pretty sure Emma Frost will get involved again at some point too, as she is already kind of caught on to what Beast has been doing in the past. So I'm hoping at some point someone will get in there and stop Beast from creating a kill squad and turning the X-Force into glorified hitmen, because that's basically what he's doing. Sending X-Force after the enemies of Krakoa, but right now also sending Wolverine after the ones that he knows that the rest of the team is too squeamish to do without being controlled. And if this is already working on Wolverine, I promise you he's already thought of ways to do the exact same thing to everyone else on the team. That was all my thoughts on Wolverine number 26 and 27. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you want to know more about what's been going on with Wolverine up to this point and you just haven't been keeping up, check out this playlist right here. This is everything that has been going on Wolverine related since House of X. In the meantime, let me know what you thought about Wolverine number 26 and 27. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.